20 years ago, would you have found me touching one of these? Why? Well, they hadn't been bred. They hadn't been created into these beautiful colors with amazing names like copper tone and with beautiful shapes, flat leaves, golden edges. And that's exactly how plants work. They come in and out of fashion. And one such collection are these beautiful Sansevierias, now also known, being renamed as Dracaenas. Love growing in pots, can be really badly treated, but I want to show you how versatile these plants are, not only for collectors, but also for you at home. So we've seen how sexy these plants can be, but I will tell you one thing, that they are almost indestructible. For that reason, they make perfect container plants for indoors or outdoors. They really are hardy. They can grow in low light or even in high light. And because Sansevierias enjoy a very, very well-drained soil, we're taking an ordinary potting soil. So it's a premium potting soil, but we're adding something to it to help with that drainage. This, guys, is called koi gravel. You get it from your local pool shop and you buy it in big bags. In here, I want to put at least a 40% of my koi gravel. Always good to have in some organic slow release fertilizer. 2 or 3 handfuls will really do the job here. Remember, because it's organic, it'll never burn, okay? And you can never add too much. So this is the mixture. Let's give it a good whirl. Right, next up we need to put in some gravel, and we've got quite big bits of gravel here, and these pots generally only come with one large drainage hole. So in it goes. Remember, you're not covering it. All that you're doing is creating a little stack around it to stop the soil from pushing through. Okay, nice and easy. Now, often with big pots, I'm amazed. By the time you bought all the bags of potting soil to go in here, you're going to need to take out an extra home loan. And you haven't even bought the plant yet. So one way that we get around it is by taking a bit of our recycling and put it to a new use. We take these empty 2-liter plastic bottles and we just pop them in, because plants don't need all of this to grow, guys. I mean, they really don't. They need about 30 centimeters. That's it. Because we're going to be watering, we're going to be feeding them. So stop stressing about that. Especially big pots that you can like put 5 people inside. By the time you filled it up, who can even move it then, because it's so heavy? All right, so we're just going to pop these in, and they really are going to help the cause here. And remember, keep the lids on. Yeah, I was asked that once. Take the lids off, of course they squash. Okay, nice. We have filled it up just beyond the lids, which means we've still got 30 centimeters to work with. Now, with any pot combo that you're planting up, what's most important is that you stick to the rules. And they're very simple rules in order to get your texture and balance. The 3 things I want you to remember is heaven, sky, earth. Okay, if you get that right, your pot combination is always going to be in proportion. So for heaven, I want to use this tall Sansevieria, or Dracaena as we know it now. You can see it's got the long strap-like leaves. This is clearly giving me the heaven part. It's in a plastic pot, and you can see that this one grows by means of fibrous roots that it sends up. So it's not a rosette, which means it's from more of the arid climates. But let's get this baby out, and to get it out, we are going to pop it into our trug. And if I grab him here, he should just pop straight out. Here we go. Okay, and then get our height. Right, there it is. Now, the other one I want to put in has actually been in our bathroom for years. And it's been, and I'm quite embarrassed to show you, but this is how it goes. And it's been in this little pot. I mean, seriously, look at the size of this pot. Look at how many leaves are in. It shows you they can cope with anything. The hugest amount of neglect and abuse. This little guy's watered once a week because it is in such a small pot. And I mean, look at that. If I just Oh, shame. Oh, Free Willy. Yes, this needs to happen immediately. So we're going to be putting, and I love this. This is part of the Futura series, and they've got this lovely golden line, and this is where all the breeding starts coming in, where you really get them to be quite exciting. But before I do that, I'm going to need some gardening tools to get this job done. So let's just get them. All right, guys. So I like this little tool, especially when I've got to deal with poor little Dracaena stroke Sansevieria like this, because I can just give it a little scratch, loosen off some of the very old soil, and get these roots going. Because you know what happens with plants is you put them in a pot for so long and they become almost brainwashed. They just go round and round and round, and even although you might pop it into a new pot, it's still not going to get that freedom that it needs, which means that these young roots are now going to penetrate into the soil much quicker. All right, so because I've hardly got any soil there, I need to add in just a wee bit more of my mixture. Okay. All right, happiness is, and then in goes this guy. Oh, yes. Look how it's picking up in the colors. Right, our last guy that's going in is a little dwarf Sansevieria, very quick growing, cheap as chips, and incredibly easy to get hold of. So out it comes. What we're going to do is scrape away a bit here, and there we go. Nice. So heaven, sky, earth. What's left for me to do now is simply fill in these gaps. Remember, use your small little trowel, pop it in, take the back end of it, you know the drill, and firm it in. Nice and easy. Right, our Dracaena pot is looking fantastic. Next up, I'm going to plant up this guy, but I'm only using one variety. It's a lovely dwarf with a golden edge, and it's called Futura. That's just going to work so nicely, and I think it's going to pick up this yellow here off this one. Gardena has introduced a range of tools ideal for smaller spaces and urban gardens. Tools inside the balcony box include a secateur, a grubber, a trowel, and a handy brush to clean up after all the mess. Super cute is the box lid that doubles up as a dustpan. Makes gardening in small spaces makkelijk. After a few decorative black pebbles, just to finish it off, all they need is a good drink. And always remember, the beauty about these guys is that you don't have to worry about them for at least another 2 weeks. And if it rains, even longer. These pots are sure to stand the test of time, like any Dracaena, or commonly known Sansevieria, whatever you want to call it, even if it's a mother-in-law's tongue. These guys are here to stay, for indoors, outdoors, patios, balconies, you name it. You really need to have one.